a company. After 2 years, allocation was revoked and given to another company. After 3 years, they recertified the one they revoked and gave to them. So, crisis. You revoke my property, you give to B, A, then later you give me back my property without even revoking this other person's own that you have given back. And then you give to another person. Just, I've never seen where they nothing to show somebody will be given 500 hectares of land. And it's unacceptable. They give you land, people go and allocate the land and sell and make money out of government. If that is the case, why should government not allocate it and sell by themselves and provide the necessary facilities? So, you must be diligent. Of course you do. I will monitor what you are doing. I will monitor what you are doing. And this assignment will not last more than 1 month. From today, it will not last more than 1 month. So whatever funds you require, you let us know. Access Bank will be able to provide you the necessary funds. But I must approve the funds. So I don't go on your own, I'm going to meet Access Bank to give you so billion on our head, no. So you understand the point I'm making now. So whatever funds you require to work, you write to me, I'll tell Access Bank this is what we want. I mean, sorry, I'm talking about Access, I'm sorry. Maybe you're having more interest in Access than Zenith. Sorry. I'm talking about Zenith Bank. And there'll be a dedicated account for this assignment. The account will be 2. One for non-compliance and one for the CFO of the mass housing. Again, I will include here those who want, those that were given land at the rural, the area councils who do not have CFO, but want to have a CFO should be included. Because, of course, when the area councils went and gave them, the Supreme Court said you have no power, it is the FCT that owns the land. So you can advertise for them to apply. And then you tell them what amount they are supposed to pay before they get their CFO. We need a lot of projects in Abuja, but this project is not an oil state. So we depend on the internally generated revenue to carry out, to be able to execute most of these projects. I'm not interested in who did not comply. I don't want anybody to come and write to me that please the task force came, help me. I'm not going to do that. Even if I mean it, don't act on it. Do you understand the point I'm making? Pressure can come all over. So even if you see my minute, please treat. Put it aside. That treat says don't do anything. Because Nigerians like to put pressure. You see banks have converted. I've told the director of development control so that when you meet, he will tell you the penalties I've said. Then I'll let the chairman know and the director of land what to be paid for the CFO. It's very, very key. So please, you have assignment within 1 month. And so after I've been inaugurated, you have to go and meet and know how to go about it. All I need is results. I don't want excuses. So, by the powers conferred on me, this task force is thereby inaugurated. And time is 1 month, no extension of a period, except where it is urgently necessary. Except where it is urgently necessary. So thank you and God bless you.
This is What's Happening Abuja with Effizy.
Let's talk.
All right.
right, welcome back, gentlemen. Of course, you can join us via YouTube at Nigeria Info Abuja on YouTube. For those of you requesting for the link via WhatsApp, and I see a lot of people requesting for link. Join us on YouTube. We're happy to have you on YouTube. I've got Usang for God, Destiny Anthony, and Mr. Elvis together on this town hall meeting. Would have a conversation around what the Honorable Minister just said. And I mean, he has made some points. You know, he even got to the part that caught my attention. That, see, even if you see me, you see Honorable Minister, please treat. He said, don't treat it. The right thing has to be done. And he also went on to poke even the ages and the lands department, which some people would also say, I mean, they are part of the people who should hold that infrastructure very, very strong and make sure that people follow what they need to follow. But the question is, the way we're going about it, are we supposed to go about it this way? Is it a functional way? Will this work in this direction? When it comes to recertification, when it comes to reverting some of those property to the original purpose and remodeling some of those property. That's where we are, gentlemen. Let's start with Mr. Elvis this morning. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Effizy, and good morning, Abuja. I think the Honorable Minister of FCT has really started on a very right footing with regards to the recertification and revocation of plots or properties in Abuja. However, if you ask me, I am of the opinion that the powers of the Honorable Minister is also limited to an extent. And I am coming from the angle that, does the Honorable Minister have the right to revoke properties in the FCT? The answer is yes. But on what criteria are these properties supposed to be revoked? Properties are supposed to be revoked where such property is for public interest. The minister or the governor, as the case may be in a state, has the right to revoke. And another reason why a property can be revoked by either a minister of FCT or the governor is where there is breach of condition. For instance, the Honorable Minister made mention of the fact that some people whose allocation was given for residential buildings later converted it to commercial. The Honorable Minister has the right to revoke such property. And I must say that to a very large extent, when a place is planned, in the master plan of Abuja, the master plan of Abuja was categorized in 5 phases. You have the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, and phase 5. Phase 1, where places like Maitama, Asokoro, Wuse 2, Wuse, Gariki 2, and Asokoro fall into. And these places has a lot of infrastructures that has almost 90% or 95% been developed. Now, the danger of converting or reverting from the original plan, which such places were meant for, to a later plan, is that you end up putting so much pressure on the infrastructure in such areas. For instance, a place like Wuse 2, if you go to places like Aminu Kano, Ademola Adetukumbo Crescent, all those places were originally made for residential areas. But today, you see lofty buildings, you see plazas, like you see a lot of
part of them are now becoming a very strong business hub.
They have been commercialized. And we end up putting so much pressure on the infrastructure that were originally designed for residential areas. The sewage system, the road network, you see a road that was probably meant for 100 cars a day, you see 2,000, 5,000 cars plying that road on a daily basis. And the residents of Abuja bear the brunt of this. So if I am to say the Honorable Minister's footing with regards to this revocation as regards to breach of contract or breach of conditions is top-notch. Right. And I give that a thumbs up. Thank you.
Thumbs up to him. Usan, for God, let's come to you before I come to Ancestor.
Yeah. I want to thank the Nigerian Info Management. I want to thank the billionaire himself for making this privilege valuable to me to be able to add my penny to the issue on ground. Right back in my secondary school days, I was taught something like location of industry and localization of industry. And then we also taught the factors that are needed for location of industry and localization of industry. Location of industry is a setting of an industry. In this case now, it can be commercial in a particular environment, while localization is a concentration of several industry in a particular place, like you have in the Transamadi industrial layout, Ilubechi layout, etc. Now, if you convert a residential place to a commercial place, like he said, I don't want to repeat this point because I know we don't have a lot of time. Now, we have, in town planning, we have high density, medium density, and low density. If you go to Katampe Extension right now, it's a low density area. You may not see anybody on the street. There are some places you go to. In fact, when you go to certain places, there are categories of building that are approved for that environment. Now, if you now convert a bungalow or a duplex into a plaza without considering the sociological impact on the residents of Abuja, the danger might be much more than the benefits. One of the dangers of such is that, let's talk about security, for instance. For every setup and settlement, there are security architecture that are necessary in order to police or secure that environment. For instance, a place that is residential, almost everybody is used to the faces and the cars and the number of people around. But when you now mix up residential and commercial, at that point in time, anybody can come from anywhere and it brings insecurity. Another danger on the social lives of the residents of Abuja is that children of parents who are residing in places that were residential and now you now have commercial mixed in between, is that those children are exposed to social danger that can model their life contrary to the upbringing of those parents. For instance, there are dresses that are meant for the bedroom. There are dresses that are meant for the badminton court or the swimming pool. But these are the dressing that are available, are seen in such places that is a mix of, residential and commercial. And I want to thank the FCT minister. He's someone I've always, followed and cherished in terms of approach to leadership. And I think he has taken a very right step in this direction to ensure that we have an FCT that we desire. I know also, excuse me, sir, I know that also in town planning also, there should be dynamism. Dynamism is that if over several years, a particular building that was built like 50 or 25 years ago, the value may depreciate as we develop. Then there may be need to probably, realign those buildings for a value. But those economic value should not, take away the scenery of the city, federal capital of Nigeria. It shouldn't take away the beauty. It shouldn't take away the security that we have.
Okay, thank you. Destin, your take.
For me, I want to come from the angle of the fact that the last 8 years, who we had somebody who was FCT minister and we didn't feel his impact. We didn't see much, Nobody should blame Wike for what he's doing. See, there is no government that is completely bad. And there is none that you can say, let's give him 100%, he's okay. I want to thank the current guy, that at least somebody is taking steps to right some wrongs. Do you understand what I'm saying, sir? Somebody is taking steps to right some wrongs. Number one, if we say, no, he shouldn't revoke, maybe because he didn't follow procedures, we are going to still leave the mess to continue. Now that he has taken steps, remember there was also something that he mentioned where even people who got land from area council can have opportunity to do have
their
CFO.
Yeah.
Do you understand me? Would we prefer that he goes like the other people, enter a complete city like a complete settlement like in Koboa or in Lube, demolish all the houses, and people will start crying that they don't have, and now he's giving you opportunity, pay government something, then have the proper paper, and you still stay where you are. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't want to go into is he following the right procedure, does he have the right or not? We already know that Abuja master plan has been distorted completely. And if we say we want to go back to that, because if you listen to him, he was talking about paying penalty.
Yes.
If we are giving residential, now you've converted it to commercial, you should pay some penalty. I think it's better we go that way than
go the
losing
way
those, because if you demolish those properties, businesses that were there, you have people who are employed. A lot of people are going to lose their job. Capital also gone. So I think he's doing the right thing. This is we trying to manage our, I mean, it's like, what do they call it? A situation where you're going to war, but you want to minimize loss of lives and this thing. I think that's what Wike is doing. He's a lawyer. You should know better.
All right.
So, thank you.
Let's take on a very quick break, and when we come back, we keep up with the conversation. Someone is already mentioning Gwarimpa 3rd Avenue. I know that we will all get to that point of 3rd Avenue in Gwarimpa. The kind of restaurant I see in Gwarimpa 3rd Avenue, I'm also thinking, is that the only thing people in Gwarimpa do? Do they just eat food? And that's all. Stay with us. We'll be right back. We'll be right back with this gentleman. Stay with us.
Audio Jungle.
Connection established.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
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 This is Nigeria Info. This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This 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 is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This is Nigeria Info.
Before we've got more like 20 more minutes on our conversation this morning. Let's dive to Facebook where Lasisi John Mazu says, I agree with the guest in the studio. Nobody should blame FCT Minister Wike. The opportunity he gave to landowners and property owners is a great privilege. Nobody should take it for granted. This is the kind of minister FCT truly deserves. And that's your comment on Facebook here this morning. Let's go to YouTube. Banky says, greeting the Zilonia. Love to see the indefatigable Usang for God and Destiny Anthony. Wishing Wike an astonishing success in Abuja. Thank you so much. Okay, let's look at WhatsApp here. Is there anybody here on WhatsApp saying anything? The ASEAN says, go to 3rd Avenue, Gwarimpa. The whole of 3rd Avenue now is a business space. Now, ASEAN Wiki sends that via WhatsApp this morning. But let's zero into the way Wike is deciding to go about it. He has created a committee. He has also given them 1 month to do due diligence to ensure that things go right. And the ones that need to pay some fine, the ones that need to go for recertification, those who also purchase from area councils have the opportunity to also change their papers to C of O. But let's look at it from the angle of the law. Is this going on in the right direction? Are we doing this revocation in the right direction? When a land is being revoked, what does the government do with the land? Is it going to give another person else or going to do something? Should there also, in fact, I think this is the major one, should there be a timeline for development of lands in the FCT? Because sometimes you see a very beautiful area that the FCT has carved out, and all of a sudden you just see a structure that is there. It's been there for years. Nobody knows the owner again. They've never seen anybody move to site, and some of those buildings becomes harbor for some of these bad guys to stay in. Remember this road from Setraco that leads to the former Next Road, when the minister went there and said, no, they should bring out, because some bad guys were staying around those areas, looking at some of those uncompleted buildings as a good hideout for them. Are we doing the right thing in the right direction? Usang for God.
Yeah, thank you, the billionaire, once again. As a student of security and strategic studies from the National State University, everything around subjects like this makes me think security. Now, should there be a timeline for development of some property? Yes. You just mentioned the point about, that has to do with hoodlums, using facility as hideout. If you have the environment fully developed and you have an incompleted building around there, definitely you know the risk you stand. Now, before I forget this point I wanted to make, I visited a place, Song Atusetu, where the cars were so packed that if there was fire or any incident, you can't leave. In fact, they have a standby driver. So everybody that parks the car, they drop their key with the security. So if car A wants to move, the same driver drives out all the cars behind it. Imagine when there's an emergency. I think the development is good, upgrading is good, but it must be in tandem with the plans of the country, the FCT in particular, as we speak right now, and then consideration of those social risk, social anomaly, those things that comes with development. Development comes with its own risks, and we cannot hide that.
Okay. All right, Destiny. When it even comes to that parking issue, I think I and Destiny have had a conversation on all those Banex Plaza, Emma Plaza, with the park and pay issue. I think next week we'll also zero into park and pay and see, is it an advantage venture for the people of FCT or just for the government? But let's hear your take.
You're talking about the issue of the parking issue now?
No. I mean, I was just responding to Usam.
Okay. For me, you asked if we are going about it the right way.
Yes.
Are we following the law? I'm not a lawyer. But you see, I don't like anytime government, brings up a particular maybe a policy or something, that the first thing I'm going to do is to antagonize and start fighting them. No. Wike is a lawyer. I think he knows better. My position is that he has started. Do you understand me? Why they are on it, there's a committee. Those other little areas that will need adjustment will pop up.
We consider
They will consider that and they will make adjustments. The most important thing is that somebody has even taken the initiative to start this process. Yeah. I'm really somebody who is always optimistic on any particular issue. So I'm not going to go about whether it's a law or not. But however, even if it's following the law that is governing FCT, when was that law made? When was that law made? Some of the things that you have in those laws cannot apply now. There was a time that they said if they give you a land, you can only develop a bungalows downstairs.
Yeah.
But there is a change now that you can, because you know that you are not going to have land forever in FCT. You soon exhaust it. So now some developers are now allowed to build, upstairs, and then if you go to that, not even blocks of flats, like 2-3 story building, you have a 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, a block of flats. So they can take in more people. So the area where I have problem is that I think National Assembly makes law for FCT. I think they are not doing well, with all due respect to them. You understand? FCT is fast developing. More people are coming in. You need to make laws. Twitch some of those things. Take for instance now, the Wusetu area that we mentioned, what is that Demola de Tokumbo? Used to be residential. When we are in Abuja, you see all the where you have this UBA, Amigo and so on. We are residential houses. Yeah. Just few, like supermarket, Amigo and so that we are there. But now, I don't think there is still any house that is still residential at that area. Everything has gone into...
The ones behind, some of them are still residential.
Some of them are still partly residential. The other flats, some of those buildings there, they are like, you won't know, like let's say a story building, 2 bedroom here, 2 bedroom or 3 bedroom here, downstairs, the same thing. Most of those houses are still no longer residential. People have rented those spaces as offices.
Interesting.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's codedly.
So what I suggest is this. Since it's the National Assembly that FCT doesn't have their own state of assembly like you have in other states. It's National that makes law for them. They need to sit up. And those areas are now fully commercial. You can't say let's level every property there. You can twitch the law. Okay. This is what we have now. Then find other areas now. You go to Kubwa, from here to Day. You see empty lands everywhere. Is there anything stopping government in mobilizing an estate developer, go to that area, provide the road, give them water, provide the electricity, and then let people also, the people who have lost their houses in Wusetu and so on, you can go to that area.
All right, Elvis, let's continue.
Yeah, just like I said earlier, this is a multi-dimensional problem. And the agencies, government agencies in Abuja that are responsible for allocation and registration of this land and CFO cannot be exempted from this problem. True. I remember there are times you move around, you drive around the city of Abuja, you see stop work, development control. And after a while, within a few weeks, you discover that the project is still on and even completed. The question is, who wrote the stop work?
Yes. And for what purpose?
For what purpose? And who was meant to enforce the stopping of the work? And what went wrong? So when you look at it drastically, you discover that the agencies of government, especially land registry, AGs, development control, are involved in the violation of and distorting of the master plan of the FCT. However, just like my brother Destiny Anthony said, on the other hand, with regards to the comment of the FCT minister, that henceforth there will be recertification and fines or penalties paid. I am looking at it from another angle.
Okay.
And that angle is this. If you tell somebody to pay 30 million naira penalty to convert a residential building to commercial, the person will put the economics of such project into consideration. If I'm to pay 30 million and I have the opportunity of converting my bungalow or residential to a plaza of about 50 offices or shops, my brother, within a space of 6 months, I've recovered the 30 million I paid. And it still boils down to the distortion of
we're talking about.
Exactly. So it will end up making us run round and round the circle without achieving any movement.
Interesting. Let's go to WhatsApp now and take your calls. We've got only 10 minutes to do that. Thank you, gentlemen, for all your contribution. Call us up on 0700 951 0000. WhatsApp is 00 309 Zilonia, almost all the underdeveloped land in Kubwa has more than 2 or 3 landowners with original paper with unending court cases. This is what we're talking about. Those agencies of government that Elvis just mentioned. Because you see people saying, I bought paper. Where the land?
They are the number one corporates.
The only way we can resolve this issue is for the minister to, first of all, get rid of all the bad stuff doing the land racketing in Kubwa and Gwarimpa. How will we regulate the abnormality? Pastor TJ all the way from Dubai sends that in. That's going to take your calls. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Babylonia, who sang for God, and the other guest in the studio, Abubakar from Gwagwalada.
You're welcome.
We are talking of master plan. Couldn't the master plan be expanded, be adjusted to accommodate the rising population of Abuja? Well, the master plan was drafted likely in the 70s. But now we are talking about how many millions of Abuja residents, apart from civil service population. We are talking, Abuja has become a refugee camp of Federal Republic of Nigeria. All our trouble spot people are trooping daily to Abuja. We must discover new economic zones in Effizy, in Buhari. There are a couple of plans. You expand, you carry out the infrastructural expansion, accommodating new resident area, business and tourism zones. Thank you.
Thank you, Abubakar, for your take there. Let's go on to WhatsApp to take another one. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Belonia, once again. I remember Abubakar Ali Tinubu calling from One Man Village, Nassau State. I want to thank all my big brothers and studio. It's great seeing your faces. Mazi Destiny Anthony, Elvis, and Usam for God. It's now one. The Honorable Minister, in fact, one good part I truly enjoyed and I love him for was the opening he gave those with area council CFO, right? He had given them the leverage.
Yes,
to go and upgrade it to that, so nobody will blame him for that. And Honorable Minister, sir, I hope all the monies that are going to be generated through this process is going to be interpreted in terms of decaying infrastructure, especially here in Kubwa. And I hope you have your searchlight beam on those tax force so that they don't go about doing the opposite of the purpose for which they are created. Long life Federal Capital Territory, long life FCT Minister. We are proud of you. And long life Nigeria Info. Effizy, thank you for bringing these men of timber and caliber to the studio. My body is itching over here. Thank you for the opportunity, sir.
Thank you, Abubakar. Thank you. All right, let's take another one here. Okay, nobody there. Keep the calls coming. Good morning, gentlemen. Good to have a timeline for landowners to develop their land when the economy revive. Buoyant economy, speed development. Talkway sent that via WhatsApp this morning. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Hello, good morning.
Your name and where you are calling from? We honestly can hear you clearly.
Okay, if you can hear me, my name is Chris. I'm calling from Zone.
You're welcome, Chris. Let's talk.
Yeah, thank you very much. I heard of several text messages you have read. People always complaining and mentioning Guarita. I was there when Abata approved a giving of federal housing authority. And I can tell you with the kind of around Guarita now, we did not see that coming by now.
Chris, Chris, I would be glad if you can do a call back. That would really help our conversation. The team, Usang for God, Destiny, and Elvis, we couldn't make clarity from your call. So call us back on 0700 951 0000. WhatsApp is 00 39137. Before we take the next call, can we have your final thoughts, gentlemen, on the topic of discussion? Let's start with Elvis. We started with him and we're ending with him.
Thank you very much, Effizy.
Yes, sir.
My final thoughts on this particular discussion is that there is a lot of work for the FCT minister to do. In fact, if you move down to Wuse Zone 2, in fact, Wuse Zone 2, Wuse Zone 4, Wuse Zone 5, you will see well-tarred roads being removed and relayed.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I don't see any reason why such should go on. When there are places in phase 2 of Abuja, phase 3, phase 4, and phase 5 that are seriously begging for government's attention. If you go to Wuse Zone 2 now, you will see relaying of
Zone 6
of roads, well-tarred roads. That is, for me, that's pure waste of money and resources and our time as FCT residents. So I want to use this opportunity to appeal to the FCT minister to do a lot with regards to developing the outskirts of Abuja and other areas like the Life Camp, the Otakos, the Kubwas, the Guarimpas, Kasanas. Those places are seriously begging for attention. Thank you very much.
We're pressed for time now.
Yeah, thank you once again, the billionaire. I will just end up with a recommendation.
Okay.
If you watch closely, you see that there is over-concentration of government presence and infrastructure in major central areas, even not only in Abuja, I think generally. And then if you go to places like Orozo, you find empty land. My suggestion would be that Karishi, Orozo, Kuba, certain places, empty land. Some of these government agencies can be moved to such places. So that would direct the traffic of people that will all be coming to Wuse2 and Metama for business. If you do that, it will make the facility to be less under pressure. I mean, to reduce the pressure on those facilities, and then it will also be easy for security.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mazi.
Mr. Effizy mentioned this issue of, you are building you're trying to develop a property. Somebody comes with a red paint, stop work, and before you know it, you go ahead. And most times, if you check, the reason why they ask you to stop, the plan that they approved for you, probably you're doing a different thing. I think that Minister Wike should get some staff. Because it's not Spirit that is doing all those things. This crisis that we are talking about, there are people who are in that land registry, in ages and so on. Take some of them. If by the time we have 2 or 3 in jail, others will sit up. Because whether you like it or not, you are being paid to do a particular job, and now you're using it. Go to some places, I'm saying this allegedly, but I'm not mentioning names. Do you know that some people who own houses in this estate that's extension of Asokoro, Guzape, you have some staff of these same places owning houses in... You know how much is the land in Guzape? The civil servant, where did they get that money from?
Maybe there are some that maybe snakes swallowed them, maybe
they bless them.
These snakes and crocodiles, they need to start vomiting this money. Let him send some of them to court, send them to court, let them go to jail and pay for the crime. Others will sit up.
Thank you, Destiny. And Dr. Paul says, the billionaire, good morning. The problem was created by the civil servants. The only way to end the problem, associated with land administration in Abuja, would only end with the civil servants involved and being punished. Your take there. Let's see. Can we take this one? Emeka from NMPC Tower says, good morning, Effizy, Usang for God and Destiny. Anthony, una no say me no they like put mouth for matter for anything concerning land. Sir L, I am listening to you guys with keen interest, but Wike should know how to allocate any land in FCT judiciously. Obedient man, Emeka writes that in. And gentlemen, I want to really appreciate you for coming today. I hope I'll see you people next week, Monday, again with other people who would want to show interest to come for the town hall meeting.
It's always a privilege to come here, and I don't take this for granted.
Thank you. Mr. Elvis, will you be available next week?
Yes, I will. And I must appreciate you and also appreciate Nigerian Info for this privilege.
Thank you. Mazi does not have a choice.
You have no choice. The only thing is that the ancestors didn't get their snap and kola. Thank you so much.
Uncle, it's like Elvis will be inducted to the elders team so that Uncle Usam will take it from
once we step out of the studio.
Thank you, Abuja, for staying with us. We'll go for a quick break, and when we come back at the top of the hour after the news, we'll do some shout-outs. Thank you so much. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
This is Nigeria Info.